Only on News 6 tonight, new numbers on the crime crackdown in Pine Hills. Orlando police tell us since December, they've now seized 28 guns. 9 of them were stolen.
Police and deputies continue to insist, though, they cannot do this alone. They say they need the community's help to combat all the violence. So News 6's Eric Von Enken went back to Pine Hills to find out who is doing what to get crime results and if it's working, Eric.
And guys, the numbers seem to show that this is working. Police and deputies have made dozens more arrests in Pine Hills since we last checked on them, and we haven't heard much about violence there in the past month. So surely part of the reason is this crime crackdown, but also perhaps because of the effort of 2 men that I met who grew up in Pine Hills and have now gone to work in Pine Hills.
There's been a lot of shootings. You had a young man that was killed at his birthday party.
Pastor Kelvin Roundtree purposely put his church here in the heart of Pine Hills because he says this is the heart of the problem. The sheriff's office trailer is stationed across the street. That's the last place he chatted with Lieutenant Deborah Clayton before she was shot to death. You know most of the people around here. Mm-hmm. You knew Markeith Lloyd very well.
Yes, I knew Markeith Lloyd since a young man. This is a friend of mine.
The pastor showed us all of the people he's had to bury lately.
My classmate's son.
You've lost a lot of people in a short amount of time.
Yes, sir. A lot of people, hundreds.
That's why he's here.
I met people there at those funerals that came to my church.
And it's also why he's here. The pastor who spends his Sundays in church spends his afternoons at Pine Hills' Barnett Park.
And we'll pray right out there on the basketball court. They really do. They won't come to my church, but they'll be right here. I was shot right here.
With 2 bullet holes in his legs, this former gang member says he can relate to so many of the young people that police blame for the recent violence.
They're glorifying guns every 5 seconds.
Jermaine Ford is another guy getting crime results who grew up in Pine Hills, went down the wrong road, and now just finished seminary school. He's also a mentor to kids in trouble.
We would come to the crime scene and pray with the families, go to the hospital.
On the court, in the church, anywhere to get through. The pastor did just last week.
She was like, hey, I got myself together. I'm doing great. I ain't been back to jail. You know, so we are reaching them, you know, one at a time, one by one.
Interesting note here. The pastor says Markeith Lloyd was a happy kid growing up. So I asked him, of course, what happened? He says Lloyd changed when he went to prison. So that's why he believes it is critical to get to these kids before it's too late, before they are too far gone.
Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. So, Eric, what do they think the problem is in Pine Hills? Where do they think all of this violence is stemming from?
They both believe largely the problem is gang violence, people retaliating at each other, ongoing feuds. They're big believers that if you stay out of trouble, trouble will not find you. In fact, guys, that's something that they preach to these kids. Stay out of trouble.
It's going to take some time, but hopefully they can do it.
It is taking time, yeah.
Eric, thank you.
Sure.